Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The crisp autumn evening promised tranquility, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within our home. My wife, Lily, had been increasingly distant, lost in a world I could no longer navigate. What began as subtle shifts in her demeanor had spiraled into cold silences that filled our dinner table. That night, as she showered, echoes of her laughter from earlier phone calls haunted me. Driven by a gut-wrenching mixture of suspicion and desperation, I approached her sleek, silver laptop. It wasn't something I had done before, but the growing chasm between us left me starved for any clue. As I flipped open the screen, it awakened from its slumber, revealing a glaring betrayal, an open tab on a women's forum. The threads displayed were filled with intimate confessions, raw and unfiltered. My eyes locked onto a post titled, "Torn Between Two Lovers," penned under a pseudonym that Lily often used. With each click, the truth seared deeper. She wrote candidly about her boredom with our marriage, detailing her escapades with not one, but multiple lovers. The screen blurred as I struggled to breathe, her words slicing through our shared history like a knife. Fueled by a tumult of emotion, I confronted Lily as she emerged, wrapped in the innocence of a towel, her hair dripping. The air crackled with the intensity of my accusation. "Lily, what is this?" I thrust my laptop towards her, the forum page still glaring accusingly in the dim light of our living room. She froze, her eyes widening not with guilt, but defiance. "You went through my laptop," she countered, her voice a mix of shock and anger. "Don't deflect. Explain this." My voice, usually calm, trembled with rage and pain. Her lips parted, then closed, a silent battle waging behind her eyes before she spoke with chilling calmness. "I wrote it. I'm tired, exhausted from pretending. Yes, I've been seeing other people. I needed more than you could offer." The words were a gut punch, confirming my worst fears. The room spun around me as the foundation of our decade-long marriage crumbled. "Why, Lily? Why lie to me? Why not just leave?" The questions poured out, each one laced with betrayal. "Because leaving isn't always simple, Mark. I didn't want to hurt you, not outright," she replied, her voice devoid of the warmth I once knew. The irony of her words stung, mocking the raw ache spreading across my chest. That night, the mask she wore dissolved, revealing a stranger. As Lily retreated to the bedroom, closing the door with a soft click that echoed like a gunshot, I was left to stare at the empty spaces she occupied. The resolve hardened within me. I couldn't let her duplicity destroy me. No, I would act, ensuring the end of our marriage would leave her with as little as she left me, nothing but memories and regret. This revelation was merely the beginning, the first unraveling thread of the tapestry of lies and deception. As I planned my next steps, the path was clear. Lily would not walk away unscathed, the chessboard of our lives was set, and I was poised to make a devastating move. The intrigue of what lay ahead promised a reckoning that would shake the very foundations of her world. And so, with a heart heavy with sorrow but a mind sharp with strategy, I began to plot the demise of the life Lily knew, a fitting retribution for the betrayal that consumed us both. The morning sun filters weakly through the curtains, casting a pallid glow that mirrors the hollow feeling in my stomach. Last night's revelations whirl through my mind like a relentless storm. Lily's betrayal has not just broken our vows, it has ignited a fierce determination within me to confront the deceit head-on. After a sleepless night spent plotting, I decide my first move is gathering concrete evidence. Armed with purpose, I approach Lily's laptop once again. This time, my fingers are steady as they navigate through her digital betrayals, screenshotting each damning confession and detail of her infidelity. These will be the arrows in my quiver when the legal battles begin. As I'm engrossed in this, Lily walks into the kitchen, her demeanor icy as she pours herself coffee. Her silence is a wall I'm now eager to breach. "Lily," I begin, my voice calm but carrying an edge sharper than before. "We need to talk about how we're going to handle this. You know it can't go on. She sips her coffee, her gaze avoiding mine. Handle what, Mark? You're spying. Or my personal life which you had no right to invade? The affair, Lily. Or should I say, affairs? I counter, pushing the screenshots across the table towards her. I've documented everything. So, tell me, how shall we proceed? Her eyes flicker to the papers then back to me, a flicker of unease crossing her features before she masks it with defiance. You think you can threaten me with this? What do you want, Mark? Money? Silence? Or just to make me miserable? I want a divorce, Lily. Clean and straightforward. I don't intend to drag this out, but I will if I need to. My statement is firm, brooking no argument, and I see her flinch, the impact of my words hitting their mark. We spend the next hour discussing terms coldly and clinically, as if our marriage was just a business deal gone sour. As she leaves for work, the air between us thick with unsaid words, I know this is just the beginning. Once alone, I call a lawyer, explaining my situation and sending over the evidence I collected. The lawyer, a seasoned voice of reason, advises me on the next legal steps and reassures me that the evidence is compelling. Make sure you're protected financially and personally. She may not go quietly, given what's at stake, he warns, and I nod, even though he can't see. I hang up, a plan forming. If Lily wants to fight dirty, I'll be ready. My next move is securing my assets and setting up surveillance in the house, not just for proof but to ensure there are no nasty surprises in store. A part of me balks at the intrusion, another part reminds me it's necessary. By the afternoon, cameras are discreetly placed and my bank accounts are safeguarded. With each step, I steel myself against the oncoming storm Lily's actions have precipitated. That evening, as I sit alone in the growing darkness of our living room, I can't help but reflect on the past. But nostalgia is a luxury I can no longer afford. Now, it's about survival and retribution. I realize that this is more than just ending a marriage, it's about reclaiming my life and integrity from the ruins she left behind. As the first legal notices are prepared, I understand that the upcoming battle will be fraught with emotional landmines. Yet, I'm resolute. Lily will realize that her deceit has consequences, and I will make sure of it. The game has changed, and I am no longer just a bystander in my own life. This chapter of betrayal is closing, but the story of my retribution is just beginning. The morning air is crisp, a stark reminder that the world moves on, indifferent to personal turmoil. Today, I'm not just on the defensive, I'm launching my counterattack. My lawyer, already briefed on Lily's infidelities, has filed for divorce. As I await her reaction, I prepare myself for a confrontation, knowing it won't be long before she strikes back. The doorbell rings late in the afternoon, a piercing sound that sets my nerves on edge. I open the door to find Lily standing there, her face an impassive mask, flanked by her own lawyer. This isn't just a casual visit, it's a tactical move. "Mark, we need to talk," she states coldly, stepping into the foyer without waiting for an invitation. Her lawyer hands me an envelope. "These are Lily's terms for the divorce," he explains, his tone formal. I rip open the envelope, scanning the documents. The demands are ludicrous: exorbitant alimony, the house, and even my vintage car collection. It's clear she wants to bleed me dry. "Are you serious, Lily?" I scoff, looking up from the paper. "You cheat, you lie, and now you want to take everything. This isn't just about the affairs, Mark. It's about how we end this properly, for both of us." Her voice is steady, but I detect a hint of urgency. I laugh bitterly. Properly? There's nothing proper about betrayal. We can settle this amicably, or we can go to court. I'd prefer not to drag this out, but I will if I need to. Her threat hangs in the air, a challenge thrown down. Amicably? With these terms? I shake my head, my resolve hardening. No, Lily. We'll see what the judge has to say about your little adventures and how they align with your demands. Her eyes narrow, and for a moment, the facade slips, revealing the anger beneath. I gave you a chance, Mark. Don't make me regret trying to handle this quietly. As they leave, her threat echoes in the now silent house. The line is drawn. This will be a battle, not just of legalities but of wills. Over the next few days, I double down on my strategy. I meet with my financial advisor to ensure that all my assets are locked down and secure. Meanwhile, I also start compiling a dossier on Lily's lovers, gathering names, places, any trace of her infidelities that might sway the court's sympathy my way. Then, I take a more daring step, I hire a private investigator. If Lily thinks she can intimidate me into submission, she's mistaken. The investigator is efficient. Within days, he's gathered more than I expected: photos, videos, even eyewitness accounts of Lily's liaisons. This cache of evidence strengthens my case, providing tangible proof of her indiscretions. My phone rings, and it's my lawyer. Mark, the evidence you've provided is solid. We can use this. It's time to push back harder. Good, I reply, a grim satisfaction settling over me. Set up a meeting with her team. It's time to show our hand. The meeting is set in a stark, neutral office space. Lily's confident entrance falters as we lay out the evidence before her and her legal team. Her lawyer's face tightens as he flips through the photos and witness statements. This changes things, he admits, glancing at Lily, whose face has paled. We need to discuss. Lily and I are left alone as they step out to confer. The air between us is charged, heavy with unsaid words. Mark, please, she begins, her voice softer now. Can't we just end this quietly? For both our sakes. I stare at her, the woman I once loved, now a stranger driven by selfish desires. It's too late for quiet, Lily. You made sure of that. When her lawyers return, the shift in their demeanor is clear. Negotiations begin anew, this time with the understanding that the balance of power has shifted. I watch as Lily struggles to maintain her composure, her facade of control crumbling. As I drive home later, the weight of the day's victories and the sorrow of our lost past mingle. The battle is far from over, but today, I've reclaimed some of my power. The road ahead will be fraught with challenges, but I am ready. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, and I am the force Lily never anticipated. The courtroom is an arena today, and as I take my seat, the weight of the upcoming finale presses down on me. The gallery is buzzing, a low murmur of spectators awaiting the drama to unfold. I feel the eyes on me, the silent judgments and the whispered speculations. Today, I end this chapter of my life with Lily, but not without ensuring she pays dearly for her betrayal. The judge calls the court to order, and the air thickens with anticipation. My lawyer passes me a brief nod, his face a mask of professional calm. As the proceedings begin, I watch Lily closely. She's composed, her every move calculated. But I know the storm that's coming will shatter her poise. Mr. Richardson, your opening statement, please, the judge commands. My lawyer stands, clearing his throat. Your Honor, we are here not just to dissolve a marriage but to expose the deceit that led to its demise. We will prove that Mrs. Richardson's actions were not just infidelities but calculated emotional theft, designed to strip Mr. Richardson of his dignity and assets. The words hang in the air, and I see the faintest quiver in Lily's demeanor. Our evidence is damning, a crescendo of her sins laid bare for legal scrutiny. As the hours wear on, each testimony and piece of evidence seems to tighten the noose around her neck. Then, it's time for my final move. Your Honor, my lawyer announces, we have one last piece of evidence. A murmur ripples through the courtroom. Lily's lawyer stands abruptly, objecting. This is highly irregular, Your Honor. We were not notified of any additional evidence. The judge looks to me, then to my lawyer. Proceed, but tread carefully, Mr. Richardson." With a nod, my lawyer motions to the back of the room. The doors open, and in walks a man, tall, confident, and unknown to all but Lily. Her face drains of color as she recognizes him. "Who is this?" the judge inquires. "This, Your Honor, is Mr. James Kellier, an acquaintance of Mrs. Richardson," my lawyer states. "Mr. Kellier, please tell the court your relationship with Mrs. Richardson." James takes the stand, his voice steady. "I met Lily a year ago. She told me she was single. We started a relationship." A collective gasp fills the room. Lily's lawyer frantically scribbles notes, whispering urgently to her. "And what happened next?" my lawyer prompts. James looks directly at Lily, his gaze unyielding. "She asked me to invest in her business, said she needed support because she was about to leave her husband. I gave her $100,000. And did you know she was still married? No, she lied to me as well. When I found out, I ended things." The revelation sends shockwaves through the courtroom. Lily's facade crumbles, her betrayal now a double-edged sword that has cut too deeply. The judge calls for order, but the damage is done. In the ensuing chaos, my lawyer leans in. "We'll push for a settlement now. She's got no ground to stand on." As negotiations start, Lily's defeat is palpable. She agrees to a settlement far less than what she demanded, forfeiting claims to my assets. The divorce decree is pronounced, and as we stand to leave, our eyes meet one last time. There's a cold fury in hers, a reflection of the ruthless game we played where there were no true winners. Outside, the cold air hits me, a bitter reminder of the price of victory. I walk away, the past now a closed book, its final chapter written with the ink of retribution and the hard lesson of betrayal. And somewhere in the distance, a new future beckons, one where trust must be earned and love rebuilt, on foundations far stronger than before.